Hello and welcome to Mystery Us. I'm your host, Tony Pratt for Mystery Us. And today we have a very interesting, cool guest, composer, songwriter, Pam Daniel. Welcome to Mystery Us.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
Now, Pam is not only a composer and songwriter, but she also is a Native American, and she's going to share with us, to start off the show, a little bit of Native American flute playing.
Okay. This is a song that I composed that is called Crossing Over.
Very cool, very cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Now, Pam, how did you originally get started in music? I mean, what was the first thing? Were you a little kid, or how old were you when you first got the bug?
Now, I was probably about, well, I was very young. I used to sing to the trees at my grandma's house.
Did they reply?
I think they were quite pleased. I was doing songs like This Old Man, he played one, and the ants go marching one by one, hurrah.
Well, my dad supposedly sang to the farm animals when he was, a kid and everything. And he said the cows didn't really appreciate his efforts, but...
They can't talk, so they can't tell.
That's right.
I know what you mean. I love singing though. And actually, I would be singing on the way to school when I was in grade school, and I would just, like, tunes would be coming into my head. I guess I always had that airwave open somehow or another, that I was hearing tunes when I was really young. I used to sing. Oh, I used to sing when I lived in a boxcar when I was really young with my dad and my mother and sister.
You were like Boxcar Willie, except your dad was actually working for the railroad. Yeah.
He was a foreman for the Santa Fe Railroad.
Very cool.
And
back to the Native American spirituality, you had another mentor. Who was your mentor for that?
Oh, White Eagle.
White Eagle.
Lou White Eagle.
Lou White Eagle.
Yes, he's a Cheyenne medicine man.
And where was that at? And what is your Native American background?
Okay, it's my great-great-grandmother, full-blooded. Her mother was Cherokee and her father was Choctaw.
Okay.
And she was married to my grandfather, who had come over from Dublin, Ireland.
That's where the red hair comes in.
Oh, Daniel.
Oh, Daniel. Well, speaking of the red-headed stranger, your cousin, you're a third cousin to Willie Nelson.
That's
so
right.
You got all kind of connections going here.
That's right. But my grandmother's name was Charlotte Dove, and she was, I don't know, she just really, it meant a lot to me when I found out that I had that background, because I always knew I had a kinship to the Native Americans, and I always wanted to know more about them and everything, but I had no idea at the time that I had that Native American blood.
So did you learn like shamanism type stuff, or?
Yes, I learned a lot of that.
The whole thing, right?
Yeah, at the Sweat Lodge, and I became an elder, and I helped other women through the Sweat Lodge, because it's quite a undertaking to go into a Sweat Lodge. You have to know a lot of things, and it's usually more of a Lakota Sweat Lodge type of approach that they do for sweats these days. But I have my own Sweat Lodge too, so I go in there and I can just do my prayers and sing, and that's right.
Now, me and you and Patricia Martin wrote a song. Was that last year?
Yes, at Halloween.
Halloween, yeah, Halloween last year, called Red River Ghost Train. It's on YouTube too, and we'll play it here in a minute. Hey, okay, we're back on. And Red River Ghost Train, the genesis for that was your experience with your dad in the railroads, and we were talking about ghosts and the Bell Witch in particular.
Right.
And we found out that there was a ghost or a train there in Adams, Tennessee.
Right.
Which was at the time called Red River.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they...
And who would have thought?
So we came up with the song Red River Ghost Train,
and there had been a train there. Come to find.
Right, and
Yeah.
we found out that there was a train, a passenger train, as a matter of fact. So there were possible ghost trains running around. And we wrote that song, and we looked at all different information about the Bell Witch, which, you know, it's kind of hard to pin it down exactly. There's a lot of different legends and
That's
stories.
true.
So we kind of gave them the general idea of the Bell Witch and what most people believe, which is probably totally inaccurate, but it's still a great song.
Absolutely, and also this elderly man that I had met working out one day, he was up at the juice bar, and he was kind of one of those paranormal people. You know, he was really in touch with the other world, and we were talking about things of that sort and spirits and stuff. And he said that he went to the Bell Witch Cave a lot of times, and he had a very good friendship with Kate at the Bell Witch in the cave. And so I said, well, that's so cool. So he was telling me some things about it. Well, the next time I saw him, he said, I'd like for you to tell me what this is. Hold your hand out. And he put something in my hand, and he shut my fingers. And he said, what is that? And it was so powerful, my hand started shaking. And it just came out of my mouth. It just said, it's a rock from the grave of the Bell Witch in the Bell Witch Cave. And he goes, and what else? And I said, it's an Indian grave. And he goes, exactly.
Well, that's pretty amazing right there, and I'll tell you why. Because a friend of mine, Mary Bogart, was at the Bell Witch Cave a couple of years ago, and they were doing filming, and they were allowed to actually film back. And of course, when we talk about Kate, for those of you that may not be familiar with the Bell Witch legend, Kate Batts was a woman who had some land disputes and things with John Bell, Betsy Bell's father, and she was believed to be some kind of a witch, and that she was, you know, somehow attacking Betsy Bell to take her revenge out on John Bell. And but Mary Bogart told me that her perception, and she's a well-known psychic medium worldwide, works with CIA, FBI, finds bodies, you know, the real deal. And she said that it was a Native American, and actually a very ancient Native American, like a caveman Native American woman and her children.
Oh.
And that was who was there.
Really?
And that was the source of the Bell Witch. And, all right, well, back to the music. You also wrote a song recently with Patricia Martin, and I'm jealous because I wasn't there to partake, but it's a really great song, and
Thank you.
It's called "You're My Hero."
Yes.
And it was originally called "Wounded Warrior." And tell me.
Well, we
guys
had
came
kind
up with
of
that.
seen, I believe it was a German Shepherd, and he had been to Iraq, and he had helped with the war and sniffing out the bombs and all
Right.
that. He had lost an eye in the war, and was brought back to the States. And then because his owner had to go back to the war, I think over to Afghanistan.
Right.
Then he didn't have anybody that was going to be able to take care of the dog, and it ended up that the dog was going to be in a shelter that's where they do kill.
Yeah, could be put to sleep.
It was a kill shelter thing, and so it
And
just,
the dog's name was Wounded Warrior, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
his name was Wounded Warrior. Says we started writing the song about wounded warriors everywhere.
In general,
we're thinking,
yeah.
because we're thinking about the bullies and different things. How everybody could say that they're a wounded warrior in a certain way, you know.
And also the firefighters out
And
in
the
West
firefighters
Arizona.
and the policemen and all the people that go over and above the call of duty of trying to make a difference in the world, and that's why we will call it Wounded Warrior. And then as time went on, I realized it was about the heroes. But we also, those firefighters over there in Arizona, I mean, I was looking at that picture as I was singing the song, You're My Hero, and I got kind of choked up because it was hard for me to sing, because I mean, I felt so deeply for those, family that was left behind.
Yeah. And of course 9/11, all those firefighters that died.
I know.
And the people as well.
We'll never forget those.
They're all heroes just for what happened to them,
Yeah. One line in the song is, one thing I promise you, you'll never be forgotten. And that's true.
Right.
So true.
Well, let's listen to You're My Hero, and we'll be right back.
Somewhere there's a hero saving someone's life through the eyes of this warrior, scars of sacrifice. Give us strength when the battle is long, wherever it may be. Stand united, stand strong, keep holding on and believe. You're my hero. You'll leave a better world than you found. You're my hero. You're there no matter what's coming down. One foot in front of the other. Watch your back, sister and brother. There's no rain without thunder, no glory without strife. Ride the wings of the eagle, hold your head up high. It takes guts and courage to do what you do. Never be forgotten, this I promise you. You're my hero. Leave a better world than you found. You're my hero. You're there no matter what's coming down. One foot in front of the other. Watch your back, sister and brother. Life goes by in a flash. Move fast, take a breath when you need 'em. Peace will come at last when you're flying the flag of freedom. You're my hero. You'll leave a better world than you found. You're my hero. You're there no matter what's coming.
great. That's
Thank
a
you.
fabulous song. Now, one final question. What are your goals and aspirations as a composer, producer, songwriter?
Well, I'm trying to make a difference, obviously. I'm in the studio with children that are up and coming,
Right.
new artists, and Keto Baccarat is one of them. We just finished a CD of hers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working with a couple other girls that are planning on going into the studio and to have their own CD. And also, I enjoy just being able to write songs, and I want to be able to have songs that it can go for movies and videos and
Right.
things
Yeah, and
of
I've
this
heard
sort.
some of your music, and it's definitely something that could be movie soundtrack material.
Thank you.
Really, really incredible tunes you got. I don't know where you come up with those, but they're very, very moving, very powerful. Just the music, even without words or anything. And you not only produce the music and write songs, but you also teach music. You're a vocal coach and piano teacher.
That's true.
And so some of the same kids that you're producing are actually students of yours.
Right.
And so you're giving back all the way around.
Well, they give me back many times over, because when I just can't help but just feel blessed that I have such wonderful children that look up to me, that are so talented, and that I'm their teacher.
Yeah. Well, Pam O'Daniel, thank you for being our guest on Mystery Us.
You're welcome. Thank you for
Great
having
job.
me. Somewhere there's a hero saving someone's life through the eyes of this warrior. Scars of sacrifice give us strength when the battle is long, wherever it may be. Stand united, stand strong, keep holding on and believe. You're my hero. You'll leave a better world than you found. You're my hero. You're there no matter what's coming down. One foot in front of the other. Watch your back, sister and brother. There's no rain without thunder, no glory without strife. Ride the wings of the eagle, hold your head up high. It takes guts and courage to do what you do. Never be forgotten, this I promise you. You're my hero. Leave a better world than you found. You're my hero. You're there no matter what's coming down. One foot in front of the other. Watch your back, sister and brother. Life goes by in a flash. move fast, take a breath when you need 'em. Peace will come alive.